Scarlet Crusade lore with Platinum WoW. Let's check this out, guys.
Most infamous enemies in the world of Warcraft is the Scarlet Crusade.
Yep.
An army of fanatical zealots who will smite anyone not a part of their order. But they weren't always like this. In fact, their origins are quite tragic.
Okay. That's pretty cool. It's a good video? Okay, let's check it out.
During the Second War on Azeroth, the elite order of paladins called the Knights of the Silverhand were formed.
Oh, yeah.
Its founding members were Uther, Trallian, Tyrion Forger, Gavinrad, and Saidan Dathrohan.
Okay.
During the war, the Knights of the Silverhand battled the orcs and healed the wounded with their holy magic. And in the end, the Alliance won the Second War. But
I will say before, I kind of do miss when I do miss when Warcraft lore was about, like, you know, the orcs versus the humans and Alliance versus the Horde, like the faction wars, and it kind of bleeds into StarCraft a little bit as well. I don't mind so much the whole thing with, like, the Great Threat of Ammon and all that stuff with the Selnaga, but something really is not supposed to be a StarCraft rant here, but something so special was about Brood War, because it was like about all the factions and the different races, like, and their battles, and it was about, like, who can outwit who. Is this guy lying? Is this guy trying to deceive that guy? Like, it was like you didn't know who to trust, right? And it felt more like science fiction in a way and cool, but like it turned into more of like a big battle versus the evil big man, right? The prophecy and stuff like that. I think Brood War was freaking awesome. And it's a very similar trope and direction that Warcraft went as well. In the beginning, it was about, like, the war and, like, you know, the battles and stuff, and it turned into more about, like, the big bad dude. But I guess that's just, like, big Blizzard. It's how Blizzard does their storytelling, which you can like or dislike how you want, right? Yeah.
War. But the Third War...
Regardless.
The Third War is when the Knights of the Silverhand's faith would truly be tested.
Yeah, that's true, Lakes.
During the Third War, the kingdom of Lordaeron was left in ruin. The Plague of Undeath turned the citizens into shambling scourge, and Prince Arthas Menethil was the spearhead of this necromancy.
Bro, what a fucked up shot, by the way, Platinum WoW. Arthas dancing on his father's corpse.
Destruction. But it was the Knights of the Silverhand's duty to bring holy judgment. I mean, they crushed the orcs in the Second War, so surely these undead wouldn't be a problem. Gavinrad is killed. Uther is killed. Tyrion was kicked out of the Order after the Second War. Trallian chased after the orcs through the Dark Portal after the Second War, so who in the light knows where he is? He's most likely dead.
They got fucked up.
All that is to say, we kind of just have one founding member of the Knights of the Silverhand left, Saidan Dathrohan.
Oh.
Or do we? Because during one of Saidan's offensive attacks on Stratholme after the Third War, he was possessed by the Dreadlord Balnazar.
Ah, classic.
The Nathrezim did this so he could manipulate the citizens of Lordaeron into a new, powerful army to protect the Dreadlord. But first, there was an important foe that needed to be slain.
Wait, so he's the last boss in Strat Live, right?
The paladin Alexandros Mograine, wielder of the mighty weapon called the Ashbringer, was a dangerous foe. And his faith in the light would make him near impossible to corrupt, so Balnazar needed to find a way to slay him. So what was Balnazar's solution for dealing with the Ashbringer? Well, as Saidan Dathrohan, Balnazar convinced Alexandros' son, Renault, to slay his own father. In exchange, he would be promoted to commander of the new crusade he was forming.
Power corrupts.
And get a very fashionable and cool bandana.
Sick.
So Renault uses the Ashbringer to slay his own father in an act of pure evil that corrupts the weapon. But keep this betrayal in mind because it's gonna haunt Renault later in the video.
Okay. Sick banana,
now
bro.
with Alexandros Mograine out of the picture, Balnazar could work on creating his own crusade. You see, as Saidan Dathrohan, he was one of the last beacons of hope for Lordaeron, the only active founding member of the Knights of the Silverhand left, and he wanted to weaponize that faith the desperate citizens of Lordaeron had in him. He preached to the citizens of Lordaeron the threat of outsiders, human, undead, or otherwise, who could be spreading the plague of undeath, and any who do not fight directly under the banner of his new Scarlet Crusade would be smited with holy fervor.
Seems like a very paladin thing to do, right? Between this and Arthas, Warcraft writers clearly had daddy issues. I mean, it's like the classic trope, right? The righteous son betrays his father, and then it corrupts him, right? It's a good story, you know. It's good.
Or is it smitten or smoted?
Smoted?
Look, they need to be destroyed, okay? Some people didn't agree with Satan's extreme opinions and generally just thought he was a bit suspicious. And
oh yeah, he killed his father. Yeah, I mean, maybe they don't know that though. Is it late to start playing Sod now? Probably not. I mean, Sod has giga catch-up mechanics. You can catch up really fast, so I wouldn't assume so, no.
left to go make the Argent Dawn instead. The Argent Dawn is similar to the Crusade, except they only care about fighting the Scourge, not literally everyone else. Meanwhile, in the ruins of Lordaeron, the Lich King lost control of the Forsaken, giving them free will. But do you think the Scarlet Crusade actually cared? Of course not.
Nope.
They're still zombies that eat people and are creating a new plague and control the ruins of Lordaeron, so they need to be purged. But the unfortunate thing for the Scarlet Crusade is that this marks the start of Classic WoW. And from here on out, the Scarlet Crusade is going to get their light-worshipping butts kicked by us, the heroes of Azeroth.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Scarlet Crusade, I think the Scarlet Crusade stuff is cool, though. Avix says, I think your point about keeping things low-key is really pertained here. Like, when they brought in the Twilight in Cataclysm, plus them with the Scarlet would have been a large third enemy faction for a war to fight against without being an existential cosmic threat. Yeah, I generally, I'm not a huge fan of the whole thing with like, oh, there's this big, massive cosmic threat, the prophecy, like, he's gonna destroy the universe. Like, I feel like it's just... It almost gets so extreme that it's like, it doesn't even feel like it's like a real thing, right? But when it's a lot more like low-key and it's like factions fighting and it's like some more like, not human, but like more like a tangible thing, it feels more, I don't know, it feels more real in a way. I think that's cool. Like whenever it's like, you know, backstabbing and like people lying in deceit and like, it's more nuanced, I think. There's more to it. Did the jailer warn us about Aemon? Dude, they definitely yoinked a lot of the Aemon shit and put it into jailer. From like StarCraft, dude. I mean, a lot of things I think they took from StarCraft and then Warcraftified it, right? I tune in excited to see StarCraft 2, but all I find is a React Andy. So if you read the title, Discard, there's actually a thing in the beginning of the title that says Reacts, and then there's an arrow, and then it says StarCraft 2 first time campaign. Which means that we're gonna do a little bit of React and then we're gonna start playing. Yeah. I have like a video or two to watch and then we're gonna start playing. We're gonna start playing in like around like 30 minutes or so.
In the Scarlet Monastery,
Taunt landed. Yeah, I know. I got baited. It is what it is. I like starting my streams with a little bit of yapping. Not that title on YouTube. Yeah, my bad. L-Kicks, my bad. Okay.
Heroes fight through the graveyard, library, armory, and cathedral sections of the monastery. But lore-wise, the leaders of the monastery, High Inquisitor Whitemane and Renault Mograine, with his fashionable bandana, don't actually die here. Renault actually dies during a special in-game event when heroes enter the cathedral wielding the corrupted Ashbringer, and the ghost of Alexandros Mograine jumps out of the blade and slays the son that betrayed him. Lady Whitemane also is not officially dead until the Mist of Pandaria, when the Scarlet...
Oh god, dude. I don't mind the pandas, but they are fucking weird to look at. Avix says, it's always cozy to have some reacts so everybody gets into the main content. Yeah, that's partially why I do it as well. I like just having like max like an hour of just like chilling a bit, talking to the community, watching a few videos, and then we start the game. Because then like people can like tune in and we'll start soon, right?
Monastery was revamped, and then later in the Legion expansion, the monastery was left in ruin by the Knights of the Ebon Blade.
Exactly,
and she was raised as a new member of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, becoming the very thing she swore to destroy.
Yeah.
But let's jump back to Classic WoW. After taking the fight to the Scarlet Monastery, heroes battle the Crusade across the Plaguelands, and heroes also enter the Dungeon of Stratholme, and
this is a cool boss. I couldn't even imagine not knowing it was Balnazar and then like that shit happening, right? We're planning to do Baldur's Gate 3, JRK.
slay Satan Dathrohan, aka Balnazar.
This is cool.
And an uneasy truce is achieved between the Scarlet Crusade and the Argent Dawn when the flying fortress of death called Naxxramas appeared over the eastern Plague Lands. This was the first and probably last time the Crusade achieved an uneasy alliance with outsiders. After the Scourge denizens of Naxxramas were defeated, typically this is where the story would end in classic WoW. But during the Season of Discovery, heroes must side with Scarlet Crusade rebels who have discovered the true identity of Satan Dathrohan, aka...
I will say, this is a really cool direction they're taking SWORD. I'm not playing SWORD currently, because I'm doing a lot of other games, but it's actually kind of cool.
Balnazar, and mysteriously, he has returned. And heroes must raid the Scarlet Enclave and bring the fight to the Dreadlord Master, pulling the strings of the Crusade. And you'll have to play the Season of Discovery yourself to see what happens next. You see, the lore added in the Season of Discovery is meant to be, well, discovered. But we do know at the start of the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, the Scarlet Enclave is controlled by loyal Crusade members. But this doesn't last for long, as another flying fortress of death looms over the Scarlet Crusade homeland.
I mean, that's the whole thing with Wrath, though, right? Just a little bit of WoW, hop on a little bit of WoW. I don't really have a big desire at the moment to stream WoW, because I've looked a little bit on Twitch and a little bit on what people are doing. It's just, most people are just constantly raiding. And like, I'm not really excited to like spam raids at the moment. I'm not really. So I'm just having a lot of other stuff to do. I'm just enjoying some StarCraft and doing some other games and shit, right? So that's mainly it. It's like, okay, we do Black Valera into Nax, into AQ, into CG, into like, it's a lot of raiding, and I don't really feel too keen on doing that currently. Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm a bit burned out after all the hardcore and OnlyFans and stuff like that. Or maybe it's because I'm just having a great time playing StarCraft and looking forward to Baldur's Gate, Red Dead Redemption, a lot of cool shit. I don't know.
This time, by the Lich King's loyal Death Knights who burn the city to the ground.
Probably
but
both,
no worries, a splinter group of the Crusade, called the Scarlet Onslaught, travels to Northrend to dispense more holy justice against the Scourge and any who oppose them, except somehow, someway, another Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis, infiltrates their organization, and that combined with us, the heroes, beating them up, kind of ruins the Scarlet Onslaught's play.
Dude, the Scarlet Crusade are really not good at what they're doing, man. They always end up just getting corrupted by freaking Dreadlords.
So throughout Warcraft history, the Scarlet Crusade has been defeated over and over again, but even to this day, they still haven't given up. More recently, the Scarlet Crusade conducted a brutal attack against the Forsaken in Silverpine, and also took control over the city of Gilneas for a brief moment in time, only for the Gilneans and the Forsaken to team up and take back the city for its original owners.
Yo, Knacky, thank you for the sub. 10 months,
and
Prime.
Perhaps we'll see the Scarlet Crusade return in some capacity in the future. But now, in the Season of Discovery, we can experience their shrouded history in the Scarlet Enclave raid. And the quest line that surrounds it. And who knows what new lore we'll discover and the secrets they keep.
Pretty cool though. I will say, this is pretty dope. I mean, shout out to Platinum WoW for this. He got to upload it on the official World of Warcraft channel, which is freaking sick. Love Platinum WoW. Again, I'm not really planning on doing SWORD stuff at the moment, but I still think it's interesting to follow along where the game is heading and where it's going. I think it's awesome. Really, really into it. It's understandable. You need a WoW break. Enjoy it, my beautiful man. Won't go anywhere. Exactly. We can always get back to gaming WoW again, right? And blast it up. So I think it'll be completely fine.